All right, welcome everybody to the video. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about real estate CRMs and how I run my business. It's a really popular question right now in the Facebook groups. Brand new real estate agents coming in thinking that they need a CRM for day one. And I'll be honest, you just don't. If you're a really busy agent working with a team, lots of leads, lots of prospects, sure, they are good for follow-up tools. But if you're just doing one or two clients at a time, really not that necessary. And I'm just slightly busier than 1 to 2 clients at a time, which I'm perfectly fine with. But this is a tool that I developed for myself to run my business and stay as organized as possible. And I decided I would share this with you guys. Feel free if you guys want to rebuild this on your own. But this is how I do it. Definitely open to input. Drop those down in the comments. And if you like this video, definitely give me a like and subscribe. So let's get into it. This is how I run my business. This is my CRM. So starting out, the current pipeline, this is everybody that I'm working with now. Okay, so I've got all my current clients that are or about to start working, buying, selling, it doesn't matter. These are my current clients. So in each, I've got a breakdown of what they're looking for. So for example, here we've got Kevin and Melissa. They're going to be moving to Houston in the next 6 to 9 months. And we are already preparing for that with them and starting to look at houses and areas that they're interested in. So I'm taking notes on that. I always have a goal. So what is the buyer's goal? For them, it's big picture home buyers coming from Las Vegas. They'd like a pool. They'd like to be on or very near a golf course, and they want space. Coming from Las Vegas, they're not used to having a yard. They'd love to get the chance to have a yard. And then we're starting to identify areas, neighborhoods that they've liked based off of their searches. We look at their finances, and then what my next step with them is, it was a follow-up on October 1st. I'm actually in very close contact with them, so I don't maintain a super tight follow-up schedule because they're friends. Now, this here, I actually got from my template over here in my buyer template, and this is a little bit more robust as I build the product. But big picture, same thing. Goal, how are they getting their financing? What's the next step? And then I started adding, what houses have we viewed? Which were their favorites? And what houses are no-goes? Because I want to prevent them from looking at houses more than once. If they've decided a house isn't good for them, we're going to throw it off to the side, but we're going to keep a record of it just in case they change their mind. And that allows me to have that kind of in the back of my mind at all times. Then down at the bottom, I have an event checklist. This is basically a lot of the things that are going to happen in the buying process. It's going to have the date that it's due, the date that I actually completed it, and then any notes associated. So, for example, offer accepted. Yep, okay, say it was accepted today, October 10th, and we had a 7-day option period. I might put that over here in the notes. But then I'm also going to go to my due date here, and I'm going to say, hey, by the way, we've got 3 days to turn our option money in, and we need to schedule an inspection. And oh, by the way, option period ends on X date, which in this case would be 7th or 8th of October, 17th or 18th of October, depending. So this is how I use that. Same thing, I've got a seller template. So if I've got sellers instead of buyers, same thing. I'm going to put their address in. Budget does not apply as much. We'll get rid of that. And then house specifics. This is specific things that I notice about their house during the walkthrough that I can advertise. This is keywords, things that they have that other houses might not, that I can use to advertise their house. And then we've got due dates, date completed, and notes for the listing process. Everything from just making sure I've got a listing agreement in place, seller's disclosure, photographs taken, and then creating the listing, getting all those dates. And this just helps keep me organized through the process, prevents missing steps. This is how I do it. Nothing super crazy here. Next thing I've got is my calendar. So I've got a calendar for each month. And in the calendars, as I take listing and client actions, I'll put things in here to remind myself. And my routine is when I wake up and I check my emails, this is one of the first things I do is I go to my calendar and say, okay, what are my must-dos for today? Now, I'm actually admittedly very guilty of not putting this into my calendar here. I'm very attached to my cell phone and doing my calendar through my cell phone, but this is another backup that I have. Then I've got previous clients. These are people I've worked with before, whether or not they did or didn't buy. These were clients that I interacted with. That way, if they were to come back, decide they want to buy or sell later, I have records of what we have and haven't done previously. So either we don't make the same mistakes or we can grow and learn from what we did before. Then in my leads, kind of the same as current pipeline, except in leads, these are people that aren't really quite ready to start making actions yet. And I do same thing, buyer and seller templates, because I want to gather as much information as possible. And then I will start filling these things out, and I will keep notes for each potential lead on things they like and don't like, and maybe give myself hints, tricks, tips on things they've said that I can follow up with later that might help me turn them from a lead into that current pipeline and make them active. Next, we've got inactive. This is pretty empty right now, but big picture, this is where I'd put notes for everybody that maybe decided they wanted to buy and decided it wasn't a good time as interest rates rise. They say, hey, we're going to wait. I keep record of all of those people. Again, everything that I note take goes in here, and this just helps me for future reference so that my memory is jogged, because as you start working with more and more clients, people start to meld together. And as much as you want to give personal service to every single person you work with, which is a great way to do business, it's just too hard sometimes, especially over long periods of time. Next thing I've got is my preferred vendors. This is a really, really important one to me. One of the things you get asked day one you start working with buyers: who's your lender? Who's your inspector? What title companies do you like to use? I keep records of all of them here, and I keep notes on them. So for instance, here I've got a lender here that I work very close with, JJ. He's really good at VA loans, can close them in 21 days, sometimes less. And he's a broker, so he's got access to multiple lenders. These are the kind of notes I take so that I know when somebody's coming to me and says, Carl, this is the kind of property I want, I can pair them with a lender that would be a good match, rather than just mentioning lenders that I've worked with before. I like to match people, give them that personalized service. Title companies, same thing. And I put, good, bad experiences in here. This isn't my actual CRM. This is one I made for YouTube. I have much more notes, more personalized, that I just didn't want to give the secrets out. Inspectors, same thing. Handyman services, if there's people, I work with a lot of investors that would need handyman services. And then real estate agent referral partners for around the country. This is where I'm going to put anybody that I've worked with or that I would like to work with. That way, if somebody, especially military families, PCSing across the country, are moving, say, from Vegas to South Carolina, I know who I have in South Carolina that can help them. Here are my listing remark templates. When I do listing a property on my actual CRM, I've got a few more tabs here, but this is basically my gouge. I try not to recreate the wheel every time I do something. So this is where the gouge or the cheat sheet for me for listing properties goes. And then email templates. I don't have all my email templates put in here yet. I actually have them in a separate Word document, but these are copy paste what I use for different interactions with buyers, sellers, agents, you name it. So for instance, I've got a cleared to close email. The day you're cleared to close, I copy and paste this email. I personalized a few spots in it that need to be personalized, fire it off. It just saved me 10 minutes of writing an email. Let's do week prior to closing. Hey, we are 7 days out from closing. Here's the steps you need to take to get ready for that closing. Then informal offer templates. I am guilty of not always typing up a contract, especially in the market we just had with lots and lots and lots of offers. It was just too many contracts to keep writing over and over and over. And to make sure my offers or my clients' offers got in quickly, I send over a pretty canned email that just says, hey, here's what we're offering. If this is good enough or even close, let us know. We'll put it into writing, get it signed today. But we wanted to at least get the number in front of you now before anybody else could. So this is 100% just about making things quicker. And big picture, that's what the CRM for me is. And I know there's lots of really Gucci CRMs out there that do auto emails, follow-ups. I'm not busy enough as a second-year agent who does this part-time that makes sense for me. This is free and is very, very easy for me to use on different computers. This is on Microsoft 365, so if I don't take my laptop with me on a business trip, I can go onto a hotel computer and pull this up pretty easily. Could even put it on my iPad. So it's very, very versatile. Lots of good things in here, and it just makes my business easier to run. If you guys have any questions about this, drop them down in the comments. Feel free to shoot me an email, carlrmcgarvey@gmail.com, or visit my website, carlmcgarveyrealestate.com. Any of those, get a hold of me and we will chat it out. If you guys have recommendations for this or something that you like, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And like I said, if you like this video, like, subscribe, and let's stay in touch. Have a good one, y'all.